Another first in American history. Donald Trump, now the first and only man who's held the presidency to face a felony conviction. There you see the verdict sheet filled out by a New York jury of 7 men and 5 women, guilty on all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records as part of an illegal scheme to corrupt the 2016 election that made him president. This is the 3rd time that citizen jurors have held Trump accountable. Juries, ordinary people doing their duty under enormous stress, demonstrating civic courage. Remarkably, convicted felons can run for president. So this year, in this extraordinary time, American voters will be the ultimate jurors. We're going to cover all the fallout of this unprecedented event. We start with Aaron Katursky in Manhattan. Good morning, Aaron.
George, good morning to you. This was an extraordinary trial, and it is unlike any other in American history. We are expecting to hear from former President Trump today here at Trump Tower after a guilty verdict that will now echo throughout this year's presidential election. This morning, Donald Trump is a convicted felon. A jury of 12 New Yorkers found the former president and presumptive Republican nominee guilty as charged of all 34 counts. The historic verdict marks the first time a former president has been convicted of a crime. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg said he simply did his job.
While this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor.
After 5 weeks of gripping testimony from 22 witnesses, the jury convicted Trump of falsifying business records so voters wouldn't find out he paid hush money to adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
It's a culmination of a lot of the pressure that she's been under the last few years, and the assault really in the social media realm upon her, and just the fear of going through something like this, and then coming to court and testifying for 2 days. There's a lot of emotion.
The payment to Daniels was meant to silence her claim of a sexual encounter with Trump. He denied the tryst, but prosecutors said he feared the story would sink his 2016 presidential campaign. They called it the subversion of democracy. The jury deliberated nearly 10 hours over 2 days and seemed prepared to go home before a dramatic turn in the courtroom. Judge Juan Merchan was preparing to dismiss the jury for the day. Then jurors signaled they had reached a verdict. Trump, who had been joking and laughing with defense attorney Todd Blanche, suddenly rigid, stone-faced, looking down as the jury read the verdict count by count. It took 2 minutes. Trump shut his eyes and shook his head, and he lashed out as he left court.
It's just a disgrace, and we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win.
Trump and his allies cast doubt on his conviction, harnessing Trump's political power and his grip on the Republican Party to rally supporters around calls for retaliation ahead of the election this fall.
The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
Outside court, the stunning conviction became a moment of celebration. And star witness Michael Cohen, who the defense called the greatest liar of all time, hailed what he called an important day for accountability and the rule of law. Cohen saying the truth always matters. Trump's lawyers said there will be an appeal.
As soon as we can appeal, we will. And the process in New York is there's a sentencing, and then we appeal from there.
The sentencing hearing is coming up on July 11th. That's just days before the Republican National Convention. George, the former president, faces up to 4 years in prison.